it's not treated like you treat like an appendectomy or any other medical procedure. It's not taught the same way. It's not charged the same way. It's not, many insurances don't cover it. All that type of stuff that makes it so there's stigma around it that there really shouldn't be.
Right. And going along about the pricing of it, it really irritates me that our insurance doesn't cover it. It's like it's a surgical procedure. And it's like one of the cheapest surgical procedures, and it's like you don't cover it.
Well, some insurance do. So that's just that's something that people should know, is that there are definitely insurance out there that does cover it, but not all of them do. It's not a standard part of insurance coverage. But that's the work that you do.
Right. We are right with marginalized communities, because most marginalized communities, their insurance is Medicaid, and so it doesn't cover it. And unless it's the mother's life isn't threatened, or it's rape or incest. So yeah, but getting back to so how extensive is the curriculum to become an abortion provider, and how, I guess, popular, or how many students choose this specialty?
So actually any physician can be trained to be an abortion provider. The first trimester procedure is relatively safe and relatively easy. In addition, there's also a medical abortion, so physicians can be trained to prescribe medication to terminate the pregnancy. So that means that any physician who wants to do it can go ahead and do it. So there's people of all specialties are involved, but vast majority of them tend to be OBGYN or family medicine doctors, because they're the one who see the women in the reproductive years. So it starts, medical school, or the training starts in medical school, but only 2/3 of medical schools provide any mention of abortion in all 4 years of medical school. And what's even more shocking than that is only 1/5 of medical schools teach any type of option counseling. So only 1/5 of these schools teach future doctors how to talk to women about their options for the pregnancy. Which is something that is shocking, actually. Northwestern, where I go, is definitely better. We have curriculum in our ethics classes in our first few years of medical school, and we also, during our last years of medical schools, most students will actually be able to see abortions. But that's not the way it is across the country at all. Northwestern is just a little better. And then people actually learn how to do these procedures in the residency, which is after medical school. But the stats there aren't much better. So for OB/GYN residents, which are most of the people who are going to be seeing these women and dealing with these women, only half of graduating residents have done more than 10 elective abortions in their 4 years of residency. So it's not something that's the standard part of the curriculum, and that's something that really is making it more difficult for people to get abortions.
That's really critical, and it's really weird. I think we have a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. I was calling to see how far along do you do abortions up to?
How long legal abortions are?
No. How many weeks?
How many weeks?
Have to be?
You can do it up to 20 weeks.
Okay, and I'm 19.
Okay.
Well, almost 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I see on the TV it says it's a phone hotline. What type of financial assistance do you all have?
Okay, from the Chicago Abortion Fund's perspective, we assist women who need a surgical procedure within their second trimester, so you have to be at least 13 weeks. And we have a client line with just the number that you see on the screen right now. You can call that number, and then they will assist you. It's kind of like a mini phone interview, and then to see if you qualify for our funding. But we give vouchers, and then if you have a facility you want to go to, we also suggest some, but our vouchers will then be sent to that facility, and then that assists you. Did you get the number down?
Okay, now I already made an appointment for Friday, and I had called one hotline. Okay, my procedure, they told me, was $1,400.
Okay.
The medical card take off $200. They was going to pay $360, and that leaves me with $840, but I don't have it.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to ask you to call, and I'm going to put it up one more time. That number that you see up there, give us a call tomorrow. And then I could specifically talk to you about your situation and what we can do for you. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, yeah.
So yeah, the training, it's available. It's just not standard. And so people, depending on where you are, future physicians have to search out the training in a lot of instances. And that makes it more difficult.
So I have a personal question. So I know you're in your second year of medical school.
Yes.
And so you've been involved with Medical Students for Choice for those 2 years. So prior to going into medical school, did you know about the, I guess, the training for this? Or once you got a part of the organization, is that how you found out?
So I was always involved. I was always been pro-choice and involved with like the political side of it.
Okay.
But I didn't realize about the provider shortage. You know, I don't think it's something that most people who are involved in this movement really know, because it's not. More people know the political side of it. So then once I came to medical school and went to my first Medical Students for Choice meeting, I learned about much more about this provider shortage. And that's when I realized that it's something that I really wanted to get involved with, because it was something that I realized I could really make a difference, and I could be one to actually do it.
So, I'm sorry, all these personal questions.
No, it's fine.
Did you, so was it like highly advertised, or how was it advertised at the college?
So at Northwestern, we have an email listserv that's sent to all the medical students. So we got emails talking about the organization and saying about the meetings. So that's how I found out about it. And I think that's how most medical students find out about it, just through their medical school listservs.
That's cool. Okay, I think we have another caller. Caller?
Do you think one of the reasons why this procedure is not done, a lot of people not going to this, because one of the reasons is malpractice insurance is very high and costly right now?
That is true.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a reason. And malpractice insurance is an issue, and it's a big issue for OBGYNs in general, not just for abortion providers. It's not much different for abortion providers than it is for practicing OBGYNs and any who are not abortion providers. But yeah, that's definitely a barrier, and it's a lot of the reason why people are practicing in different states, and why OBGYNs are practicing in Indiana and stuff like that, because malpractice insurance is so high. And that's definitely something that also needs to change, for sure.
Definitely, that's another barrier that we're trying to tackle. So, with all the negative connotations and the backlash that both providers and patients face, what made you get involved, and what is keeping you going?
So, like I said, I've always been pro-choice, and I've always really felt that women should have this choice, and it should not. Nothing should get in the way of it, and it's a woman's body, it's a woman's choice, and nothing should get in the way of her doctor-patient relationship, and no one else should be telling her what to do.
Exactly.
Right. So, and then when I came to medical school and learned about this provider shortage, I realized that I couldn't just sit back and say I was pro-choice and not do anything about it anymore. Since I was going to have the tools to be a physician, I'm going to become a physician eventually, hopefully.
You will. We speak on it.
That I could actually do something now, more than just talk about it. I could actually be someone who was actually providing the abortions and being an advocate for women. So that's really the reason why I've stayed involved with the organization, is because I realized that I could take my beliefs and put them into action. And yeah, like I know you were talking about before about the barriers, and all that's really true, and it is a more difficult career path, I think. But I think organizations like Med Students for Choice make it a lot easier. You know, there's being around so many other like-minded people who are helping each other out makes those barriers go away, or making them a lot smaller.
Right.
And also just, you know, I've shadowed at Planned Parenthoods and stuff like that, and just it's one of the only procedures that a woman can walk out that day and you have made her life better. You know, she had a problem that morning when you walked in, and that afternoon, and a few hours later when she left, like the problem doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So it's pretty great that it's one of the few things that a doctor can do to change someone's life for the better, if that's what she wants right away.
What I find amazing is that regardless to what side of the spectrum, the barriers are the same, because I know we was talking about the conference that we both were interested in before, and it's like I've got in contact with a lot of people in the pro-choice movement who are facing these same barriers, regardless to what state they're in. Somewhere in New York, California, regardless of where it is, it's those same barriers. And what I find that's